Bird of prey. So this is a circular walk that we did. We didn't actually plan this route. We came here for some trig bagging and just happened to park in the right car park. So it's a circular walk. It's got some nice views, not the entire way around. Sometimes the views are quite hidden, but in general, it's a very nice relaxing walk. So we switch back on ourselves here and then we come down to the bottom of the valley, right down. We come past some farmland and then we turn back, come back up the valley, and there's a little bit of a steep incline back up to the top of the hill. And then we go right back to the car park. So it's a very simple route and it's got markers all the way along, so you can't really get lost. And there's the loop. So as you can see, we're following the blue route. It does say it's 3 hours. It did not take us 3 hours. It's not too hard a walk. Max was obviously very keen to get going. And we're going to come up to the first fence. It is pretty. Oh, look at that. And we have a warning there. Unauthorised cycle trails. Unauthorised cycle trails have been built in this woodland without National Resources Wales approval. Please be aware that you may come across cyclists on unauthorised trails. We strongly discourage cyclists from following any unauthorised trails. Okay. So as you can probably hear in the background, it was a very windy day. We just had some stormy weather. So yeah, the wind was still there. It wasn't too much of a problem, just made it a tiny bit chillier than a normal day. There are some beautiful views off to the left here, which for some reason I didn't slow that down. Make sure you stop along this route and appreciate the views, because eventually you do go into the woodlands and you kind of lose sight of the views for a little while until you get further along the ridge. Now Max, no. Go through the gate, pal. Break your leg. And then first question, which way? Okay, so the answer is straight. Oh, I thought it was a split. It's just like a parking area. So we carry on along this main route. It's pretty obvious, you can't get it wrong. You can see there were a lot of trees that had come down. A lot of them have been cleared, but there were still quite a few crossing the path. And to be honest, some of them sounded a little bit dodgy. I wouldn't be surprised if the next time there's a storm, a lot of these trees come down. And we had lovely sunny weather, so we were very lucky. This was around April time. This is going to be a climb back up. similar walk to this. Oh, look at that through there. Oh, valley. The camera doesn't do this view justice. It really is very pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's very pretty. And here we're going along the path. You can see how much those branches are moving in the wind, so it was quite gusty. And this is where the loop begins. There's a bench over there, and I'm not surprised because people are going to want to stop on the way up. So it's fallen down, but over here there is a sign to tell you that the blue route goes to the right. So to the right we shall go. Yeah, Max started limping for a minute, so I did have to stop and pull a thorn out from his foot. So you may have seen that just before I started speeding up the footage. We did have to stop, but he was absolutely fine once that thorn was out. It was quite a warm day for him. We did stop and have water several times on this route. A lot of trees came down here at some point. See them all? And smell them as well. So someone had obviously come up and cleared the route. Looks like we're about to go down. Mountain off in the distance there, I don't know if you can see it. It's very cool. We are going down a long way. I see water down the bottom though. Don't think we're going to come across it though. I know I'm going to regret this coming back up. He had a teeny tiny thorn in his toe, and I think every now and then he'd tread on it. A whole herd of deer just went running through the woods up there. It's got to have been at least 6 of them, so probably not a herd, a group. I can't see them now. Always happens when I'm not filming. See if I can find them. Take a look at this valley for a minute though. So as you can see, a lot of these pathways do look quite similar. You do get glimpses through the trees where you can see some lovely views. Nice valley. take this second to jump on that log and give the dog a drink. So I left his bowl in the car, but I have a poo bag and I have water, and he already knows he's going to drink out of that because it's not going to leak. Dog is happier, got his bowl back, and he's had a drink. So as I was coming along this path here, I suddenly heard a noise that I assume was a train. I did look into it and I can't see any sort of steam trains in that area. See these mountains again? So another look at this. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure that view really does it justice. It was quite pretty, and actually, to be honest, just walking through the gorse here was really nice. It kind of protects you from the wind because it can be quite windy up there, but it's low enough that you can sort of get the sun and it doesn't scratch you. I mean, I assume someone's been down there to maintain it. Wow, now we are going back down. And we should switch back on ourselves based on the map. Oh, my bag just whipped me. Okay, this is cool. Very entish tree. Let's check out the view. Oh, look at a bench. Must be a good view. I wonder if that's Sugarloaf. I might check my map. That's where we're going. So this in front of us is Bank Kevin Garrig. So it's like the back of the rock. And that over there, that point, is Ashtagarth. I'll have to Google what that is. I'm not sure what that translates to. So as I'm coming down the back here, that sun was really lovely being behind me. It may be a different story if you were doing it clockwise. You might find that you're coming up the hill in the heat. So for a sunny day, it's always worth considering going anti-clockwise, I think. Although the views may be better going the other way. You'd be able to see the mountains. I spot another puddle and I guarantee he's going to get in this one. He loves sitting in puddles. Oh, nice, Max. Oh. Well, at least it's cool. So the good thing about this route is it's really not hard on the knees. When you're coming down that hill, there's not too much pressure. Without sounding like I'm 80 years old. Going downhill can really hurt, but this one's really not that bad. So I've muted the sound here because the wind was really quite loud. Flattened out now. Dog wants to go and play in the field. But we're not going to. Nice river down there though, that would have been nice. I don't think we're allowed. I checked, we weren't allowed. I thought he might have liked to go down to the river, but yeah, it was not a public right of way, so we didn't. And as we were coming along this section here, we started to hear a lot of dogs barking in the distance. I wasn't sure if it was dogs meeting along the trail or if they sort of lived in the area and we just hadn't seen their buildings yet. Bird of prey. It's like it knew I was trying to film it. There's a lot of birds of prey in the area, especially kites and buzzards. I now know how to identify the two, but at the time I didn't. Yeah, I can definitely confirm that was a buzzard I could hear. So as we're coming along this path here, you'll see Max starts to get a little bit more wary of what's up ahead, mainly because we could hear these dogs barking, so every now and then he'd come back and just wait for me to catch up with him. This is the farm here. Lovely sunny patch for them. Max waiting for his human shield. So you can hear the dogs barking in the distance. So Max likes to sacrifice me to anything that's scary so that he can run away. That is a noisy pack of dogs. I just checked the map because we're going left here. So I don't want to end up going the wrong way. So the right turn is this one here, which actually goes to the farm, but it is a public right of way. So the dogs are either barking because that guy has gone onto the farm, which is that way, or they're barking because they know him, and this is where we cross the river. So unfortunately I don't think Max is able to access it really. No, I'm not sure he wants to be honest. So we're going to go left, and this is where the climb starts. And I can see a blue way marker here on the post. So we know we're going the right way. In case you don't have your maps with you, there it is. So you can see it's a very simple route to follow. It's hard to get it wrong. Simply just turn left when you can, actually. So just screenshot, but looking at where I am on the map, this is one of the unofficial cycle paths, because that route would come all the way down from where the track splits for the loop. And yeah, it does look to be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if people cycle down there as well. So all good fun as long as no one gets hurt, isn't it? We didn't actually see any bikes on our way around here, but you know, it's always good to be wary just so you or your dogs don't get hit by any bikes sort of coming flying down that path. You'd have an idea, I suppose. You'd probably see the cars in the car park if there were other people around. hope you can hear that. So we're starting to incline now, and it's quite gradual. It's not too hard, to be honest. I was a little bit out of puff, but not really. And this goes for the whole way up this hill, really. As you can see, we followed the path around the corner, and then you do cross back over the river again. So there's a few opportunities for the dogs to get in the river, but actually Max really wasn't that bothered. And this is the last part where you cross over the river here. Honestly, these trees seem so dodgy. I'm glad he doesn't go too far ahead, just in case. So as I was walking around this bit in particular, the trees were creaking very loudly. It really did sound like they could come down. So I'd just be careful, especially walking around here in high winds. It was quite a windy day when we came, so it probably would have been quite risky to walk this area. Had I known, I probably would have thought twice about it, but you know, it was okay. But any higher winds and I'd be concerned about trees coming down. And as you can see, that has happened before we got there. They've just been cleared away. Okay, so I think we're actually coming up to the area where the path split, where the bench is. And if so, I'm pretty chuffed with that because that really wasn't that bad. Yes, I see the bench. So, I suppose I wasn't talking, but as climbs go, it was quite gradual, it wasn't too bad. So, still need to be fairly fit, I'd say, because we've got the rest of this to go. Yeah, it really wasn't too bad, and it was quite nice to see that bench and come back to this point where the loop started. Right. More up. So that was the path we took to go around. So now we're going back up to the car. And generally, I did actually really enjoy this walk. At the time, I wasn't too impressed with the views, and I was feeling a little bit meh. You know, I didn't think it was that great a walk, but I think back on it now and it was quite pretty. You know, the chance to see a lot of wildlife, and it was good for Max. He could be off the lead. In general, it's a really good dog walk. Now I think back on it. At the time, we had already just done another walk as well, so I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, I would say it's a lot nicer than I remember it being, especially when I watch it back. We're starting to flatten out a bit here. Me and Max both sped up then. That was creepy. The tree just sounded like it was breathing. Hope it was the tree. So this is the clearing which I initially mistook for a turning. So we should come round and see the path back to the car now. Yay! See the gate. And once you get to this clearing, it is easy going back to the car. Barely a climb at all. So yeah, that's our summary of the walk that we did in Esgair Fwyog. And I'd take this opportunity to thank you for joining me and Max on our adventures. And we hope to see you for another one soon. He's going straight for the cattle grid again. Will he realise? Will he remember? He did, clever boy. Quite a heavy gate. And then a tiny bit of uphill, back in the sun, back to the car.